All right, what is up, my friends? Welcome back. For those that are just coming to this channel for the first time, what we do here is we look at smart money. We try to find tokens that haven't moved yet. We look at top 100 holders, we look at public figures, and what you're looking at right now, Nansen helps us to do that. So I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible, but there are a few things I want to show you. I've had some requests here, to show those tokens before they move, because I show sometimes where they've already moved, right? So we're going to try to find some before they move. As far as the video and the way it's laid out, I do timestamp everything. So if you want to jump ahead, that's fine. Just kind of scroll along here along the scroll bar and find the subject matter that you want to find. And throughout the video, if there's something you like about Nansen, or if I talk about Moni, or the AI buy, AI sell signal indicator chart that I show sometimes, just 7-day free trial for that. But there are discounts down here. Take advantage of those. Don't just go to Nansen and pay full price. Nansen gave me these links to help you out. So use those links. I'd appreciate it definitely if you hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it with your friends. I think there's a lot of people out there that would enjoy this kind of content. And it's very important right now because we are reaching a level where either in Q4 or Q1 of next year, we're going to see that top. So right now is the time to put the work in. And, if you have some money to put into the market, we're going to look at some tokens that could possibly make you more money. That's what it's all about, right? None of this is financial advice. I can't predict the future, but we're going to do our best to, help each other out and find these things. So let me just talk really quickly about, this cycle. And I promise I'm going to keep it short, and then we're going to jump into Nansen. I really want to keep this video between 20 and 30 minutes for you to keep it shorter. So, I put these lines here because that was kind of the support level as things started to climb up. We did have a little bit of an anomaly here in 2020 where, the COVID thing happened, but it got right back above onto the line, just like it did back here. And then once it broke out of that line, once it started pulling away, that's when the blow off top happened, or that's when the really big alt season happened. So each time this happened, and we haven't seen that yet, if I take a line right here, just generally, it's not going to be perfect. But if I take a line here and I say, okay, as long as this line holds, then I'm in. If I start getting candle closes below that line, then I'm out. So anybody telling you that this time's different, or, we're in a bear market, it makes zero sense. I mean, how in the world could we be in a bear market? Or how in the world would we already be rolling over if, this all-time high was pierced? We continue to make highs. We're making higher highs. There's no lower high yet. So don't let people on X scare you or YouTube scare you. They're just doing it for clicks. I am always going to tell you the truth. I'm always going to tell you what I really feel. And, all I care about is helping you out. That's it. And if we look here on Nansen, it has a, it's got something called breadth indicators, OOS, which I really don't know what that stands for, but the 30-day above the 360-day moving average that they track here shows that 20% of all tokens on CoinGecko are bullish currently. So, I mean, look at that. You don't even have 80% of the alts that are bullish yet. And that's what happened way back here in 2021. We got about 90% or more tokens that were bullish, and that was a top signal. So look here in May of 2024, we had a temporary top signal when about 60 to 70% of those tokens were bullish. So I do believe we're going to move up. We're going to take off again. We're at least going to get to this level, I believe, or close to it. But there is a chance we get up to this 90%. I mean, if tokens push all the way up to this 90% threshold, then, it was an amazing alt season. But even if it gets up to here, you're going to see like 5x, 10x. Some tokens will do like 40x or something. I actually highlighted one here in 2024. Right at the end of 2024, this cycle that did a 40x, and I used Engineering Robo to show how it gave a buy signal perfectly and a sell signal and got you in and out really nicely. And that's the one below in the description. That's a 7-day free trial. So anyway, let's look at Nansen. We're going to look at different types of caps. Anywhere from what Nansen allows you to do is look for micro caps, small caps, mid caps. And so a micro cap is less than 1 million, small cap is less than 50 million. And I'm talking about market cap. Mid cap is 50 million to a billion, and then large caps are anything over $1 billion market cap. I'm going to eliminate tokens that are maybe 4 days old or something. That way we don't look at brand new tokens. You know, we want to find something that's more established. I did make a post on Flock just the other day. Is it this one? Yeah, no, it's Block. So Block and Flock actually are two that, yeah, here it is right here. So Flock made a really nice move. And I was asking the Nansen research agent about it, which you can go if you're a sub. It's only available for a professional version right now, but it's coming to Pioneer, and Pioneer is the lower cost one. So once that's available, I'll let you know. I think it's going to be in September, but it is very nice. You can go onto Telegram, ask the AI agent anything. It's kind of like your assistant for crypto. You know, it tells you a lot of different things. But I did a video here showing that, and it pulled it up and told you exactly all the ins and outs and why people were buying it, and gave you some really nice information. All right, so let's try to find some of these tokens. We're going to start by, let's see, right now we're on all caps. You're only allowed 5 different chains at a time. You can switch them up, but currently what I'm looking at is Ethereum, Solana, Base, BNB, and Tron, which Tron's been kind of active lately because Tron has been pumping. So we know kind of how the process usually works in a cycle, right? You get the first push out of Bitcoin, and then it goes to ETH, and then it goes to maybe the top 10. After that, things like Arrow has been moving. We just talked about TRX. Link has been moving. So you're getting a lot of the old tokens, or maybe even some of the new really high cap tokens. If we were just to look at high caps, maybe you're a person that doesn't want to take a lot of risk, right? And we just want to look at tokens that have been having a really nice net flow. And let's just take a look at that here. Let me clear this out first. Just see if anything changes here. You can also sort by sectors, by the way, if you just want to look at AI or something, just so you know. Okay, so we got Ethereum, Solana. Yeah, so these are the biggest movers over, or the ones with the most attention over the last 7 days. If we look at something like 30-day, this is based on smart money only, by the way. You can toggle this on and off. So if I was to toggle this off, this would just be retail activity. And some whale activity would fall into this if they're not considered smart money. But let's just turn on smart money because they're the most reliable as far as buying and selling. And if you find a wallet that you like, by the way, as you're going through some of these, just save them to your watch list. And then you can check them, once a week or something, see if they're buying more, see if they're selling more. I mean, their outflows onto the exchange to sell could tell you that, hey, maybe the market is done, and that might help you to get out of the market on time. But clearly we can see that Link has been the winner. You got 1.16 million net flows. And by the way, what that means, anytime you can hover over these little info buttons right here. But if you see a green bar with like this 1.16 million here, that means that, yes, you have had inflows and outflows at the same time, but the inflows have been better. The inflows have been more people buying. So if you just hover over here, you'll see total USD value of smart money buy transactions on DEXs, which are decentralized exchange, and CEXs, which are centralized exchanges like Coinbase or whatever. So inflows were more than outflows, and then that gives you a net flow, a net positive flow of 1.16 million. So I just want you to understand what this chart is telling you. And then here's your smart money traders. This is the amount of new smart money wallet holders that have actually purchased the token over the last 30 days. And you can change this to whatever you want, 7-day, 24-hour. But we'll look at last 30 days because we want to see what's being accumulated and held. And I'll show you another nice little thing here on the sidebar that'll show you that even better. So we've got BGB just showed up out of nowhere. It wasn't there just yesterday as far as I know. So it's got 464K. We can look at that one. That's on the ETH chain, by the way. We've got Jup, which is Jupiter. It's a pretty well-known one. Arbitrum has been showing up more and more lately, so I'm going to bring that up. And we're just going to see, if these have moved much, because of course we want to find something that hasn't really moved. So I'm just bringing up ones here that haven't really moved much. And so these are our large caps. Let's just go over our large caps first, and I'll show you how to do this. This is Bitget Token. Of course, Bitget is a well-known exchange, and we can see that we've got some volume spikes down here. This thing's just been consolidating, right? I mean, there's a pretty good chance this kind of looks like a triangle formation. But it, you know, just like we were talking about trend lines earlier with Bitcoin, as long as this trend line holds and you don't start getting candle closes below this line, then this thing's probably going to start moving up. What is our market cap on this one? It's actually not showing. So what you can do, you know, you're here on this screen. You're curious over the last maybe 7 days who's been buying, especially if you can see some smart money that have been buying over the last 7 days. That's what you want to see. Mostly it's just been fresh wallets. If you see wallets, I mean, this is like a brand new wallet right here. If it just looks like a little code like this, it means it's a brand new wallet. So you do want to see fresh money coming in. That's a very good sign. Yeah, here it is right here. Over the last, what, 7 days? What is this on? No, over the last 24 hours, $95 million worth has been transacted with fresh wallets here. That's net token flows. This says last 15 days, so that may be true. I'm not sure if this 24-hour works over this or if it's 15 days. It might be the 15-day thing. So yeah, you can look at it this way, or you can go over to holders here on the tab. And I'm just going to talk about these one time so you understand what they do. And then we'll go a little bit more quickly through the next tokens. Again, jump forward, look at the timestamps. If if you're not interested in this token, that's fine. So let's look at the last 7 days, just see the activity and see if any of these are in the positive here. Not really. You know, this yellow line here is the balance. If it's going down, that means people aren't really buying much. This is the top 100 addresses, but we're starting to see, you know, this line hold now, right? You know, it was just going down, 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 and now price is picking up just a little bit along with the exchange, you know, the tokens coming off of the exchange going into people's wallets. And let's just see what smart money is doing. Yeah, smart money is pretty flat. You can see how many smart money holders you have. There's 2 currently. Public figure, you've got a couple. Well, you got 1 holder down here, Scott Melker. Well, he doesn't have much, just 142. And then here's your whale holdings. And I'm not going to look at every one of these tabs, but here's a token millionaire that holds 5,000. That's pretty significant. I mean, that is high conviction to me. And it looks like, let's see. Yeah, they're still holding it because they haven't sent it to the exchange. So that is bullish right there, seeing something like that. And I didn't say it before, but here's your smart money down here at the bottom. I mean, that's crazy. Dragonfly Capital has 171 million of this. So you do have to watch out for funds like this that have a large amount. You know, they hold about 2% ownership of all tokens. So if you were, say in the future, if you held this one and you started to see a fund that was starting to sell, you know, their tokens, right now they hold 37 million tokens. They haven't sent any to the exchange. So if you see that, and sometimes sent can mean they're just sending it to another wallet. You know, it doesn't always mean an exchange. Like here on Dragonfly Capital's other wallet here, we can actually go into it and look on Wallet Profiler for token. And you can look and see where they've been sending it to. It's going to show up right down here. And it'll actually show up here as well. You know, it'll have a little symbol saying withdrawn or something like that. Put it on the daily chart so it's easier to see. This one's been very resilient. You know, sometimes these come all the way back down. So it's been very resilient. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. So here's a transfer out. What do they do here? It's Dragonfly. They sent it to another wallet there. Yeah, so sometimes they're just moving it between wallets. So that's fine. They're not sending it to the exchange. But you can see here where they purchased it from Bitget as well. I think that's what it's showing there. Or maybe they just took... you know, they had it stored on Bitget and they were sent it to their wallet. Let's close that. So now you kind of understand how to use these tabs. Very important. You know, back to the overview here. We got pretty good liquidity, 460K over the last 24 hours. Yeah. So that's really good liquidity. You know, you at least want to see it over 50K. So, you know, this may be one that you want to accumulate, possibly. You know, one to at least consider. It hasn't made a move yet. I mean, if you'd rather wait for it to have some kind of breakout, then just the same way that you draw a trend line here, you would also draw one on the top side somewhere here. So it's kind of doing a triangle. And then once you get a breakout above that triangle, then maybe you could take a position if you want to play it super safe. Or if you want to get something like, let's see, is this it? BGB, was that the name of it? BGB, yeah. If you wanted to get something like Engineering Robo, again, in the description, there is a 7-day free trial. When you bring up Engineering Robo, it will give you buy and sell signals. Usually you want to look at a daily chart or something. Let's just see what it has right here for it. Sometimes when things are going sideways, it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna be hard to give you an exact signal, but you can see it did pretty good here. You know, you'd have to go down to a much lower time frame to get a quicker signal, but you can see here we do have kind of a pennant happening, and you got a buy signal. So, you know, as long as this buy signal holds, then this thing's going to push up. All right, let's move on to the next one, Jupiter. I need to go a little bit quicker for you. This is our daily chart. It's way back down here to support. I mean, this is actually a good place to be accumulating. This kind of looks like a bull flag to me coming off of this pump, off the bottom. And we can just look and see what's going on with our holders over the last, let's just look at last 7 days. Remember, you can change this to whatever you want pretty much. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you're all in the green here. That, yeah, see how there's accumulation for top 100 holders. Smart Money's probably going to show the same thing where it's accumulating. Yep, it's going up. So you are seeing some accumulation here on Jupiter. This is one that you could consider just to slowly start accumulating. And you'll be buying with Smart Money. You know, you'll be buying at the same levels they're buying at, kind of like support levels. You even got some whales that are starting to buy as well. So all of these, you know, remember this yellow line means that tokens are coming off of the exchange and going to people's wallets. So that's Jupiter, and this one is Arbitrum. Yeah, so Arbitrum seems to be starting to make a little bit of a move off of a support level. Let's just see what it shows here. So we've got a top 100 ETH-Fi leaderboard wallet. That means they're one of the top 100 ETH-Fi holders. And as soon as this thing gives me an opportunity to look at the chart, sometimes it takes a second to load up because there's a lot of information for it to compile. You got volume is up 29% over the last 24 hours. That's good. And we're going to look at our holders as well. Fresh wallets have bought 66K. Yeah, same thing as Jupiter, really. You got a sweep of the lows here. It's trying to reestablish support where it lost it back here. So as this comes up a little bit more, and you know, maybe it's retesting it already and it's developing support one more time to make another push for this high, which would be about a 2x move. I do believe that it would have more in it than that, but that would be your first, you know, target to watch is this peak right here, because it did hit it a couple of times. And sometimes it needs a third or a fourth attempt to break out to a higher level. So watch these peaks right here. These are order blocks, you know, what we call order blocks. And usually there are people with, you know, limit orders set there to sell. You know, maybe they bought down here somewhere and they've just got a limit order set up so that when it hits that, it automatically triggers and they take their profit. Yeah, so Arbitrum looks pretty good to me. I think it's a good one. Holders, let's just see what the holders show real quick. I'm already almost 20 minutes into this video, so I've got to go quicker for you. We're going to look at mid caps here in a second, because those have a better chance to really pump hard. And yeah, we are seeing accumulation. It's a little bit flat right here, but mostly you're seeing accumulation here on Arbitrum, which makes sense, you know, because price has been going up. Yeah, so there's some accumulation by public figures there. Here's your whale view. Remember, it's not just a chart. You've also got all the people down here. Not only is this person a whale, but they're also a 30-day smart trader. And what that means is they tend to hold a little bit longer. They have a $6 million net worth in this wallet, so they are very profitable. This looks really good right here. Since 21st of August, we've got a push where people are, whales are buying more. And it was this person right here. You can see last 7 days, they bought 13,000 tokens. They bought some more 30 days ago. If you ever want to look at these wallets, by the way, just right click on it or, you know, push on it with your finger if you're using mobile, and then open up Wallet Profiler for token. And you can see exactly where they bought and sold, if they have sold any. I think this person has actually just been holding. So you can see everywhere that they bought, they continue to buy. This deep research button is available to everybody. You can just click it once and it will do a deep research on this particular wallet, giving you all the highlights about it. And you can see where they bought down here. Here they bought, actually they transferred from their main wallet. Looks like they have a $13 million net worth wallet right here. So if you find a wallet that you like this, that trades the same tokens you do and they're profitable, then just, click on their wallet, go to manage labels, name it whatever you want. If you do want to name it something, label it something if you want, so you can know what they do, and then add wallet to watch list and hit save labels. And then once you do that, you can go to your watch list at any time right here, and that person will be there. You're ready to see what they've been trading, or if they're starting to sell, like I was talking about earlier. Yeah, so Arbitrum looks pretty good. And Fetch, which I think was FET AI, and it changed its name. This one is starting to get back into support levels. I think it actually is into support levels. So in this case, if you're using Nansen, which you should be, in my opinion, I've been using it since 2023, and I use it every single day. You can see within a 24-hour period or within the last 7 days, if you've got some profitable wallets that you trust that have been buying these levels. And I'm not seeing any smart money here, but you are seeing some conviction where this person almost bought 25K worth. They still hold half of that. Here's a high balance wallet that bought right around 5K, and they still hold 100%. So you want to see people holding, of course. Volume's not indicating that the bottom is quite in, but if you start to see big volume spikes, kind of like you did back here, well, actually right here, see how this volume spiked, before this big push? Yeah, you got some volume spikes right here. That's what you want to start seeing. Do we see that? Not yet, but I think it is coming. So FET, that's one you probably want to watch in the future. Although if you don't care about BNB chain, then maybe you don't. All right, so let's close these, and we're going to look at some. Let's look at some mid cap. So mid caps are between 50 million and 1 billion, and the great thing about these is, say if they're kind of under 100 million or under 250 million or something, they've got a lot of room to move. I mean, these are your 5 to 10 exiters. They could even do more than that. So it's great to look at these. So we've got a lot of smart money traders right here. Our net flows are here on the right. And we can just look. What I'd really like to find for you, and MORPHO has been extremely bullish lately, 700 million market cap. I will look at that one for you. SPK, yeah, let's look at SPK because it's 100 million. I'm not going to look at these because I think these have moved a lot before. What about VVV? Okay, VVV is 100 million. Rect, 300 million. Oh, Block. I definitely want to look at Block for you. Cow has been a decent one. Maybe we'll just take a quick look at that. GRT is 900 million. I don't want to look at that one. It's okay, but I just didn't want to look at it. Do we want to look at ADA? Maybe. I know a lot of you probably want to look at that one, so I'll take a look at it. Banana's been showing up a lot in my alerts over the last couple of weeks. We'll look at that as well. All right, I need to speed run through these because I don't want to make this video too long for you. And then we'll look at some low caps as well here at the end. So let's just see what's going on with this one. This one's already made a pretty good push, so it really depends on if you want to take a chance with something that has already started to move some. But it's clear that this one's bullish. I think this is more, I do believe that this one has more gas in the tank, that it can keep moving up, to these levels up here at minimum. But you're only looking at like a 2x right there. This one's already been moving up, so we want to find something that hasn't really moved up yet. So let's just skip that one. We had a really big pump by Spark. It had shown up in my alerts, but I wasn't paying attention at the time. And it's really consolidating right now, so I'm going to skip that one. We don't want to wait on a consolidating token. Venice token on base, kind of flat. I'm just not sure if I even want to look at this one. Yeah, let's skip Venice token. It's just not worth it. What do we have here? Okay, so Block. I do want to look at Block because look how the volume just continues to increase on this one. You've got a whale over the last 24 hours, bought 1.2 million. And always verify this. Make sure that it was actual purchase. And they just weren't, maybe they were just moving it between wallets or something. But you've got a really nice pump out of this dip right here, which I was telling people this is the support level to watch. And I was telling people that yesterday, actually. And so they could have bought right here and already been up, 20 to 30%. But what you want to watch is this level and especially this level. Because if you pump out of this and then it loses this level, then it's definitely coming back to here usually. Again, not financial advice, but that's just what I've seen before. But at minimum, you want to see it hold this 12-cent area. And then if it can do that, and especially hold this one, then it's ready for higher prices. I don't know what did it do from the very bottom? So it did like a 9x or something. I mean, it could come up here and do a lower high and start to roll back over and consolidate longer. So just be aware of that. This does look like it was a definite actual buy. In fact, this whale was the one that probably pumped the price, buying $1 million worth. So maybe they know something. Who knows? You'd have to go in here and look at their wallet and see how profitable they are. You know, if you think that you can trust them as a trader. But it's clear that they actually purchased it because it came from Uniswap right here and went to their wallet. And they're up about 20 to 30% like we were talking about just now. So maybe I'll post this. Yeah, maybe I'll post this wallet address if I can remember to for you. Yeah, so these are levels you want to watch right there. You can also go to the holders and, you know, see what other people have been doing. But it's clear that a whale has been purchasing, and that's all that really matters. So I think I'm just going to skip that, and we're going to move on to Cal. So Cal is it's a higher market cap, whatever it is, 100, 200 million. You're down here at support levels. It's a fairly safe buy as long as, you know, we do get a nice alt pump. You got a top 100 MORPHO wallet and a top 100 Mantra DAO wallet. So these are people that have, and a top 100 WETH wallet here. So, you know, these are people that have clear track record of being profitable, you know, because they're top 100 wallets. They're holding a lot, or they've been profitable somewhere else and bought more of these tokens. And you got somebody with a lot of conviction here, actually 2 or 3, and buying a lot, like 75K worth, 32K worth, and they just purchased it within the last 7 days. So this looks kind of like a bull flag to me. The level that it needs to get above is around 47 cents. You know, you can see there's a lot of resistance there, but if it pushes back up there again, I think it'll break through this time. And then levels you'll be watching for is like 80 cents and $1.13 or something like that. So this one looks really good to me if you want to consider Cal. And the great thing about it is, you know, you're not taking a whole lot of risk because it's down there support. So 88, yeah, I mean, I'm not really interested in 80. Well, I didn't zoom out enough. It's not bad. I mean, if you like, for some reason it signed me out. I don't know why. Hang on one second. I got to take it off screen so I can sign in here. Okay. So for ADA, just get back to our screen that we were on. We were looking at it, and, you know, when I zoomed out, it showed, of course, that, you know, it had made a push. It made a really strong move out of here, out of the support level. And then now it consolidated and it's starting to push up again. So there is a chance that it could just be ready to go because it is a higher cap. Higher caps tend to move after ETH, you know, to play catch up. But I would say just put you a little trend line here or something. And as long as it doesn't break below this trend line, you're good. Because sometimes these trend lines, it just bounces on them and then it takes off. But there's other times when it breaks down and then comes back down here one more time. So, you know, your level to be buying at is maybe somewhere right around 60 cents if it does come back down to here. So kind of watch out for that. But there is an inverted head and shoulder there. I think it could be coming back up here to $1.14 possibly. Let's see, did we talk about Cal? Oh yeah, sorry, we were talking about Cal, weren't we? So maybe I skipped ahead, not sure. But here's Cal. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's starting to build higher lows here. And if it can get above 47 cents-ish, maybe a little bit higher, like 48, 49 cents. Remember, these resistance levels are more of a zone. It's not just a single line. But if it can get above there, your best safest way to buy it would be to wait for a breakout, retest, and then buy on that retest right there. But if you want to take a chance on it here, that's fine. You know, it is near support levels. You do see a lot of conviction. So, you know, maybe this is one that you want to consider. Banana, let's see. Let's see what this chart looks like. Yeah, Banana kind of looks the same as the other ones. 84 million market cap. It's right in that area where you want to, you know, find a token that is near support and it has a chance to move up. I really do like this pattern because it looks like a bull flag to me, but, you know, it could come down just a little bit more. So yeah, first levels to watch for is about 45 cents and then 71. What did I say? Sorry, $45 and $70 roughly, you know, somewhere in that zone. So that's like a 2x and 3 or 4x, whatever that is, 3x. So yeah, you've got some top 100 wallets here. Not as much conviction as something on ADA, something like ADA or the other one we were looking at on Block or Cal, but it's still decent conviction. And you can look at the last 7 days as well. And you can even look by label, if you just want to, this thing keeps signing me out. Anyway, you're able to look at different labels here, hit smart money, and you can look at just smart money. And let me actually do that for you. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I don't think it's my internet. I think their servers are just bogged down or something. Okay, let's try this one more time. Give it a second to load here. There it goes. Maybe I can just pull it up on this other one. What were we looking at? Banana. Okay, yeah, so if you just wanted to look here at smart money, there you go. I had forgotten to show that to you. There's definitely a lot of different ways. So there's no smart money over the last 24 hours, but if you go to 7-day, are there any? Yes, there's one. They didn't buy much. Well, actually they did. They bought 10K worth. So, it's pretty good conviction, I believe. And you can hover over here and see how profitable they've been, which it's okay if they're not profitable over the last 90 days. I mean, the market's been kind of weird, but their net worth is 600K. It's pretty obvious that they do have a lot of conviction in crypto and have made money on it in the past. So there you go. Those are your, and I am going to show you some other ones here, but those are your high caps, mid caps. Now we're going to look at small caps really quick. Flock right there at the top. I've been telling people about Flock for a while now. Yeah, we didn't talk about it at the very beginning before it pumped, but we did use it as a case study to show how to find these tokens. I even told people about SAPIEN when it launched. Maybe this is one you want to keep an eye on, and I think we will look at it. But SAPIEN was a brand new launch a couple days ago, and if people had been watching my Twitter, which all you have to do is go over here, go to @bike4sale and hit follow, and you can get my updates. I told people about SAPIEN before it even launched, and so you could have gotten in very early on that one. Let me close out some of these so they're not in the way. Yeah, so here's SAPIEN right here. I told people about it way over here, right when it launched, which I think it had a pump and then it came back down or something. It was pretty volatile, but somebody could have made some money off of it or off of this pump right here. So it's obviously having a lot of resistance right here at about 26 cents. You are back down here near support levels. There's no guarantee this holds though. It could come down a little bit more. I'm assuming that SAPIEN is actually a project that's real. I don't know for sure. And that's why I say, not financial advice, because I mean, all of these things could be a scam. We don't know. But, I think you'd want to see more conviction before you jumped into this, or at least, some price movement that started to develop higher lows, higher highs. Right now, there's not really a support base that's been developed yet. So it might be better just to wait on that one. Okay, so our top net flows, we're sorted by top net flows here. Remember, we've got all the numbers here. If we wanted to sort by, which tokens have the most smart money holders, that's fine. You can do that. But what I would say, and how I've always done it since 2023, is always look at your net flows. Try to find something above 50K net flows for the day. And that's usually the ones that haven't moved much and that could still move for you. So we'll look at Wojak, which it's already moved a little bit. We'll look at CODEC. I know that one's been on X quite a bit. Maybe Caesar, GIZA, which a lot of these are just meme coin. It's meme coins wrapped in a project that looks like a real project. So just understand that any of these could be scams. I just want to make that point. Tower's been in the, yeah, I think we will look at Tower. Tower's been showing up a lot lately in alerts. All right, so we're going to try to go fast here. We're at minute 34. Maybe we can keep this under 40 minutes. We are going through a lot of tokens, though it takes a while. Yeah, so Wojak was huge. I mean, it's such a popular thing back in 2023, was it? Yeah. So maybe this thing's getting ready again. You've got a support was developed there, higher highs, higher lows. Could be a bull flag here. So this level is actually not a bad level to be, maybe accumulating a little bit. I could see it moving up to 0007 because that is the level right now. There was an inverted head and shoulders that was created there. And so you could just draw a line here at the neckline and say, okay, there's probably going to be some resistance in that level as it goes back up. And then if it gets above that level, then now you're looking at even higher targets. Last 24 hours, you've got some decent conviction, 10K, multiple 10K purchases. Are there any smart money in it? Let's see. None over the last 24 hours. Last 7 days, you do have one that bought a ton. So there you go right there. You got some smart money that really wants this one and they want to hold it. They're still holding 100%. So, consider Wojak if you want like a higher profile meme like that. CODEC has already been making a move. Let's just see how much of a move that was. If I see something like a 10x or something out of a token, I'm usually not going to be interested in it. Yeah, I mean, that's done a 26x. So let's skip over CODEC for now, but I think this one will be back. If you want to look for a place to buy, maybe at 1 cent right in here might be a place, or right around 0.005, that would be another area. Caesar, let me just see what this one did here. It's okay. I mean, I think the thing that you really like about this one is you've got a top 100 Luna wallet here that bought a 67K worth. And let's just verify. I want to make sure they actually bought it. So let me wait for this to load up here and we'll see if they actually bought it there. Your resistance level is up here at like 0.03 maybe, or a little bit lower. It kept rejecting there, but you're seeing a nice little trend here where it's like a ascending triangle. And it's putting pressure on this resistance up here. So if you imagine that there's a resistance level here, as this thing pushes up, it's eventually going to put so much pressure that it has to just fly out of there. So this could be one to consider. I would just say use this trend line, and if it breaks below the trend line, then just get out maybe. Unless it gets back above the trend line, then maybe it's ready to go. Sometimes it can fake out below and then get back above. Let's look at this wallet and see if they actually bought it, and they did. So they bought right there. They actually bought, you can see right there. You just want to make sure that it's not them transferring it, between wallets. That's the main thing. Here's GIZA. Let's just see how much of a move it made from the bottom. 10x. This is probably a lower high. I would believe that it might need some more consolidation before it's ready to go again. But you can clearly see that this is your resistance level somewhere in here. So if I was to guess, I would think something like this, it's going to triangle out and then finally be ready to go. But you do have some people buying it. So, if you get above this line right here, then that's when it was ready to take off. So watch that line. We have here Tower. Yeah, Tower hit a resistance level right here. But I mean, clear. Yeah, I mean, it's a resistance level even from way back here in 2023. But, clear accumulation, clear. People are definitely interested in this right now, and it's been showing up in my alerts on our Discord. A lot of volume being traded. Last 7 days. Let's just take a look at it. Let's just see if there's any smart money involved as well. Okay, so no smart money, but there's been like 7K, 8K purchases. Some decent conviction by non-smart money wallets. You can take a look at your fib levels here. And if I had to guess what's going to happen here, I mean, if it closes back above this line here, above the purple line, then it's ready to go, usually. But if it was to come back here and test some areas after this big pump, I would suspect that 001 area-ish is probably where it's going to come back down to if you wanted to look for a buy there, if you like this token Tower. And then we've got Sapien. Oh yeah, we talked about Sapien, never mind. And let me show you one more thing before we go. We're going to end this thing at 40 minutes exactly. I'm going to try to. There's a smart money tab here. And you go over here to smart money tab. And you check the leaderboard. Who are the best smart money traders? I mean, there's a lot of different things here you can do on your filter or your labels. I'll show you that in a different video in the future. Maybe you're somebody that is a long-term holder. And so maybe you just want to look at 180-day smart day traders or 180-day smart traders. So these are the people that tend to hold longer. And you can see how many trades they made, realized P&L, return on investment. This is a way for you to find good wallets that you track. Now, as far as top tokens, this is what I really wanted to show you. You can find out what smart money is trading. You know, it's all here together for you. You can change it by market cap. But I like the other view better, the other one we were looking at. But this is really what I wanted to show you. You can see what they're holding, you know, what their conviction level is for certain tokens, what they're actually holding. So you got things like Block, Bio. I was early on Bio, by the way. You know, I told everybody on X about Bio before it even pumped. And that was because I use Nansen. You can find tokens before they pump with Nansen, I'm telling you. My first 10X that I ever had back in 2023 using this, I've had 10Xs before. But my first one that I ever had using Nansen at the end of 2023 was Mubi, M-U-B-I. And the only way that I would have found it is through Nansen. You know, so Nansen becomes your volume filter, you know, to find tokens that are ready to move based on on-chain activity. HFT, this is one that I believe, let me find it here for you, that I believe is putting in, you know, a really tight descending triangle. I believe the support's probably going to hold, but you know, you could accumulate here, or you could wait for it to break above this upper trend line right here. And so my first target would be, well, really the first target's probably around 30 cents, but you know, there's some other targets up here around 55 cents after that. So I think this one can have a nice move. Currently, Engineering Robo shows us on the daily that there is a buy signal. And you can see, well, this isn't a good example, but this one was too new back here for the buy signal to show up on the daily chart. But the sell signal worked really well. It got you out before all of this downtrend. Actually, here's some good examples. So there's a buy signal, sell signal, buy signal, sell signal. It got you out before the dump right here. So yeah, HFT is one to watch, and that's what I was showing you right here. Where was it? HFT, yeah, right there. So this is another thing that I probably should show y'all more often. You know, what they're holding, you know, balance changes. Like this one's up a lot, Arkham. I did mention Arkham on my X. Let's just end with this. I'm going to show you Arkham. I mentioned Arkham before the move. So here you go, you know, accumulation right there. I actually want to look at the chart. Everything's up right now for the most part. You got some smart traders purchasing 5K worth right there. And let's just end with this chart right here because we are at the 40-minute mark. Yeah, Arkham's still way down here at the support. So, you know, this is, I think this is probably a pretty good play. It's not financial advice to accumulate this one if you like it. You know, there's some smart traders that see the same thing. In fact, this is a very profitable smart trader right here. I'll put their wallet address. I'll add this one so y'all have it on when I post this on my Twitter. I'll try to remember to post this one. And then that way you can take a wallet address from this video. Okay, I hope y'all really enjoyed this one. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share with your friends. And you know, just keep an eye on my Twitter. I post stuff there all the time. Sometimes I only have time for one video a week, but I want to give you as much content as I can to help you to, you know, do the very best you can to make money with Nansen, because you can make a lot of money with it, both buying and knowing when to sell. So check the description below for sure, because I have discounts for everything down there, and a 7-day free trial for Engineering Robo, which looks like this. You know, it's got the AI buy sell signals. So yeah, y'all check that out. Let me know if you have any questions. Post in the comments below if there's something specific that you want to see, or maybe there was something you liked that, you know, maybe there's a token out there that you want me to check for you. So just reach out and I'll help you with some of that stuff. All right, y'all take care.